pledge. Josh.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Father, thank you for this day, and thank you for all the many blessings you've given each one of us in this room. God, thank you that we live in a nation where we can come together and discuss things openly, God. And God, I just pray that you would be with this meeting tonight. I pray that, God, you would give us wisdom as we talk about the business that has to do with the school district. And God, I just pray that you would always help us all to remember that the students come first, and that's what this is all about. And God, I just pray that you bless this time tonight. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Call the April 17th, 2023 Huntsville Board of Education meeting to order. We do have a quorum. We want to welcome our employees and guests. Mr. Warren, please go ahead.
Okay, so on our agenda, first thing is consent agenda approval. We have the minutes from the agenda for tonight. We have the minutes from the meeting of March, the special meeting of April 10th, and then the district financial report.
Are there any more questions regarding consent agenda? If not, I'll have a motion. Motion by me, second by Josh, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Second is our special reports, and we have Mr. Greg Harris first.
You got it. First of all, thank you very much for your service to our school district and ours, because I've been here now 8 years, and so I want to tell you thank you for your service. I know it's can be a job that's no matter what you do, sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. But thank you again for allowing us, as the coaches, I represent the coaches tonight, because we were brought up to our attention that was brought up at the last school board meeting. So what we've done, we all come together and we have put together a packet. In that packet, you will see job descriptions for every coach. Job descriptions when I said coach, for every sport, okay? You will see in that also, and Mr. Fergus, if you want, there's some more there. We put together 12. In that packet also, it has in there our job descriptions, basically trying to share with you exactly what all we do in each sport and how we go about it. And you should also see how our other duties are assigned. And then there also will be the time that we put on task, because I ask each one of them to kind of put together what it looks like for a season and the time on task. And that when we say season, there's no more just basketball season. There's no more just football season. It's year round. And and then we just kind of went together and put together a little quick PowerPoint with everything on it. And I'll just share that with everybody else in the room, that you see what they are, all the coaches put together. And it shows through each sport where, like, here's football. Coach Williams put this together because this is what we all go through, what we coach during the season, and then what goes on hourly, and then also to what other duties we get assigned. And you see football, so it may not be as much overlap when you go through all the other sports, because we all do it. We just try to shorten up some things maybe that were not always mentioned. So you can look through that. You have all this in your packet. I'll go through volleyball. Coach Gosfiner put this one together for us. One of the things people don't realize that as coaches, I know y'all were talking about days. Our days are just like teacher days, but yet we work in the summertime as well. That is not on the clock. Most people don't know that. Our contract runs for 190 days. So each one of them have also put in their summer schedule that takes place with each sport. And then here's men's basketball. Coach Gosfiner again, that's River. He put his packet together for you, showing exactly what they do during the year, what a practice plan looks like. Everybody, I asked them all to put together a practice plan, a typical practice plan. When you get to mine, you'll see that that I got a time in mind, but as Whitney knows, that time don't always bump on it. Now today we finished early, but I think y'all understand why. So there's women's basketball, baseball, and we do punch a clock, but I was just, most of you know, some of you know me that are back here behind me. I like shooting you the truth. The time says we start at 3, but if it's a rainy day, I have to wait on football to get out of the turf room before we can get in and practice. So a lot of times that means we don't get started till 3:30. They said sometimes it'd be 4 o'clock time we get everything set up. And we've gone in 6:30, 7 o'clock doing that. Here is softball. Coach Duncan put his together for us as well, and what all they do in the summertime. Cheer. And when I was talking with Allie, she was sharing with us, because I didn't know what her schedule, and I always run across because we see her crossing 3rd hour and 4th hour, and I felt for her, because when she asked me what she did, she told me that she has 3rd period cheerleading, and that's her conference period. And then she loses about 20 minutes of her lunch. So when you start looking at all the things added up, fortunately for her, and I hope I'm quoting you correctly on this, Allie, is that the teachers in her school building take care of her so that she can have a full lunch. And that's awful nice of them to do that. Track and field, Coach Harriman and Coach Garrett do this, and Coach Dennison volunteers and helps. I know she used to do a lot with the cross country. And then, of course, cross country. Now, Coach Hoskins had surgery this weekend, so hers is kind of just bumped. I think Coach Coulter may have filled this one in for us, and thank you for doing that, Coach. Yeah, and she's the head person of that. And then golf, that's Coach Harris. Now, Coach Harris, the other Coach Harris, so I always tell him if he messes up, I blame it on him. So, but Coach Harris had surgery, and so that's why he's not able to be here tonight, but he did put us something together so you can see when they practice. You notice that it goes on during the summer, because they start playing August the 1st. And that's when our contracts start as coaches, August the 1st. So we end the last day, and we start back August the 1st. But we come in 4 days a week with our guys and work them out. I personally take our baseball team. We've all worked together. I take mine, we go play on the weekends. Basketball, I know they do in the summertime. It's usually Tuesday and Thursday night, if I'm correct. And girls, y'all do pretty much the same thing. Soccer, Coach Carroll, he wrote something up for us as well. He's just battling numbers in the soccer program. And then also, too, one of the things that we wanted to highlight to you, because it was brought up about other duties assigned. All coaches, I'm not saying all of them do, I'm not sure, but I know just about the majority of us all have CDLs. And we drive the trips. Our school district does not pay us to drive the trips, but we kind of consider that part of our stipend. And then we went, you see, we went and tried to compare what we do here versus, how am I doing on time, Mr. Warren? Am I doing okay?
You've got 2.5.
Well, I better hurry. But anyway, the school's comparison, we tried to put a comparison together for that, what other school districts pay. And I believe that is in your packet as well. And the very last thing was brought up about what coaches do. We have coaches in here that AP calculus. When on a baseball field with me, if I need some numbers crunched, I know who to ask. That's Coach Kaufman. So he's our number. But we do other things than just coach while we're here, but we also put a lot of time in the job. Now, in closing, I'd like to say this. I've worked at 9 different school districts, and I've worked with a lot of coaches. And I want to say, and I told Mr. Warren this the other day, after what happened on Monday night, I've never seen a group of coaches come together as a whole in support of one another. And that means, to me, that means we're in here fighting for our kids and doing what's right for all programs. I've worked at school districts where coaches have an agenda. What I mean by that is they say, if you play basketball, you're not playing football. We don't have that here. We're blessed. Again, thank you for allowing me to share my time with you, and I appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Coach Anderson.
Okay, next on the agenda is rounding out our special presentations from each building. We have Huntsville High School.
I'll grab one of those later. Either one.
He said either one.
You'll change it for me?
No, keep going.
Huh? Oh, keep clicking?
You got it upside down? Oh, keep going. Right there.
There we go. Have to show off this pretty banner here. I do have some packets, but I know how people are, and you look at your packet instead of listening to me. So I want to show you the PowerPoint real quickly. I do want to recognize some students. We have 3 students who have achieved biliteracy seals for their diploma. What that means is, and you help me out here, if they are fluent in another language besides English. So we have 3 students who have received that. They'll get that on their diploma. That's a big deal. 3 of Maria, she's not here. Maria Trujillo, she received that. She couldn't be here. And then we have Cynthia Ramirez. If you'll stand, please. And then we have Juan Mona Rosa. I want to talk more about Juan here a little bit. He's like a star in the PowerPoint. We do have Chris Skates here with Skills. He is the Skills USA president. We received chapter. Whoa. We received Chapter of Excellence, Gold Distinction, which we're #1 in the state. So that's a huge deal. If you don't know, Mr. Wrinkle received Advisor of the Year award, and he moves on to regionals or nationals, and we also move on to nationals for Skills USA. So if you would talk just a little bit about what I know that I've got it in there, but talk about skills and what that's done for you.
Well, I showed up here freshman year. I didn't really know what I was going towards, and I'm still not really sure, but my options have been made more clear and broadened as the years went on. I'm a junior. This is my 3rd consecutive year in skills, and it's improved me as a person. It's taught me ways to be professional, and maybe, as you can see, how to speak in front of people. And it's taught me to be a better person, and it's helped me see what kind of a community we have, because I've had the honor of throwing events out here, and it's shown me like, I said like in a professional speech, excuse me. But we have brought people together, and that's honestly one of the most beautiful things I could have seen, and I'm the most grateful to have that honor.
He is president of Skills. I don't know if I said that or not, but you all, I've got it on the slide, so when we get there, we'll talk about it. But they scored well, and they compete at nationals, which is in Georgia, Atlanta,
Yes.
in Atlanta.
You guys have quite a bit of scholarships, don't you?
He does.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
more in there, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell them about your scholarship.
Freshman year was a virtual competition at state. I won for customer service. But I got 2-year scholarship out of it for, I believe, is any community college or technical institute, if I'm using that correctly, in the state. And then this year we competed in parliamentary procedure, you could say, and opening and closing ceremonies for a meeting. And we won, and I got a full tuition.
It wasn't just you, it was who?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
There was some
It was me, Dakota Griffith, Aiden McLean, Josh Carell, Brett White, and Shelton Myers, and Liz Simpson. There were 7 of us in total.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like popping all the buttons off my phone when they got all the awards.
Something to be
but-
proud of, but
Yes, absolutely. And we did a good show. We were loud and proud.
We did.
We had right at 50 kids that participated in the game competition.
That's, I believe that's the most we've had out of any year so far.
And we're the chapter, just saying, the chapter.
The state, the man that speaks for us said that we were on the cutting edge.
Is that Mr. McKnight?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. McKnight. So
Yeah.
it's the guru, so it's a good deal. All right, thank you.
Thank you,
Chris.
Chris.
Okay, I know that we don't wanna run out of time, but I've got a lot to brag about, so we tried to hit the highlights. We are the first school in Northwest Arkansas to be recognized as a heart safe school. That's a big deal for us. We have had some issues this year where we've had students, board educators in duress, so that's a good thing. We've also been a unified, National Unified Champion School. That does expire this school year, but that's a big deal for us as well. Art, Candace, Ms. Giffen talked about the art club and what they did with the mural for Crystal Bridges. It's currently at the Fayetteville Library, and it'll stay there for a little bit longer. When we get it back, we're going to make sure that we hang it in a predominant spot in the high school so that everybody can see it. We'll get it professionally framed and taken care of. So that was really exciting. Juan was part of that. Were you part of that too, Cynthia? Yes. So you can see Juan there on the corner. He's the math kid that likes math for fun, if you can believe that. Candace, I got a kick out of her, Miss Giffen, she's like, just throw some numbers on there, and he's like, no. So it's a calculus that's up there?
No, it's just, from the contest, it's like the tiebreakers are supposed to be hard, but.
Okay, it's supposed to be hard. I'll talk more about him here in a minute. And then there's the picture of it, and it was a really good, it's really pretty. This does not do it justice. To see it in person is way better than you can imagine. Our band, they went to Orlando on the floor during the spring break trip. They did some fun things there. He said our kids were the guy that was in charge of the breakout sessions that they did said our kids were the best behaved kids that he has ever seen that has come to one of these things. What they did is they had so much time to get their stuff together, and he actually had a Disney scene up there, and they played the music to match that Disney scene. So that was a good workshop for the kids to do, and they got really high marks for that. Here's one. So some of our kids, including Juan, decided that we needed to have math tutors at the school, and they developed this all on their own, and they're called the Math Pirates, the PI 3.14 Pirates. So they have developed a tutoring program during RTI where they can assist students. Sometimes teachers can pound it in the kid's head for a month and they can't get it, and then a peer can teach them and they get it like that. So we've had great success with that. Juan also decided that he wanted to come up here with me so you can correct me when I'm wrong. He went, tell us about University of Arkansas, what you did over there.
So they pretty much, it's a contest, and I think there was about 300 people that attended this time, and there's various topics, but I went for the pre-calculus trigonometry. But the thing is, they test you, it was in March, and they test you over things that even Ms. Dennison said that you won't even learn in our normal classes. And they're pretty much, it's like a big end of the year test of everything trigonometry and pre-calculus. And I went ahead and got second place. Even I was surprised. They're pretty hard questions. And even especially when you're competing with like Haas Hall, Bentonville, and all those kids they're usually a bit more advanced, but I still got second.
He missed it by 1 point.
Yeah, at 1 point.
And he competes on the 29th at UCA for the state championship. So, tell them about what you got offered to do this summer too. He's with Upward Bound. I know, I'm bragging.
So there's what I'm looking forward to in the summer is cell membrane research with the U of A, with the Mass Center. I'll be working with some doctorates. I'm not sure which ones yet, but it'll be a select few. I'll be paired up with a mentor that's with the Colin do research to present in Washington, D.C. in spring. So I'm pretty excited about that.
So when he wins the Nobel Prize, I'm gonna make him dead, but he's already promised to be. So anyway, we're proud of his work. He's a top-notch student.
Proud of everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
So, we have been talking about scores because we know that is a big concern, the Aspire scores, which that's going away this year. But we have, just to briefly talk about that, we did purchase the IXL program, and we're using that for our RTI program, and it will actually prescribe for kids what they have a deficit in. So we are working on that right now, and we base that off of their MAP scores, what they have in class, what the teachers see, and we go in and we prescribe lessons, and there's more about that here at the end. Library Media Center, she's here somewhere, there she is. She's been doing breakout or escape rooms, and she can do them for any content that we have. So she's done some for Algebra 1, Geometry, Biology, Romeo and Juliet in English, and also Sherlock Holmes, Quantitative Literacy. That one was a fun one because it was statistics of the Titanic, and they have to follow these rules and solve these puzzles and different things to be able to complete those tasks. And they don't realize that they're learning because we're tricking them, but don't tell them that, y'all never hear. But they have a really good time with that. I had a boy, and it's hysterical, but one of the first ones she did was Algebra 1, I believe, or Geometry, and he's like, oh my gosh, I love math. And he had failed both Algebra 1 and Geometry, but he was getting it now because it made sense to him. So that was really, really cool to hear. And there's some pictures of her breakout rooms. I like this, can you be a lock star? She did do one for us in March for our spring PD, and the teachers loved it, and the teachers are just as competitive as kids. So they got some hokey prizes at the end as well, like the kids do. Science, we've got some talk about that in here. Here they are creating, it's their honors physical science, and they are creating a model. So we got some pictures of that. So it's about plate tectonics and ages of crystal rocks. Flame Lab, which is always fun and scary at the same time, but we did some activities there. They didn't burn the school down. Charles Law demo. that was fun. That's where you microwave soap, I believe. Am I correct on that? Yes. They go back. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Am I going the wrong way?
You're going the wrong way.
Where do I, help me out. Sorry. Got excited. Okay. This was really cute. The facts class, the special education department at the elementary, some of the kids drew pictures of their favorite animal, or their favorite, something that they liked. And these are pillows made by the kids to match the picture that the kid drew. And then they took them down to the elementary school and gave them to them. And there's some more. The purple monster cat up in the corner, that kid has a textile, like soft stuff, or she likes soft stuff, so they knew that, and they created that with a plush, velvety fabric. And they said when they brought them to the kids, they were like hugging them and squeezing the little stuffed animals. So that was fun. Facts or FCCLA, we've had some you've met Carly, she was here and spoke to the board. Star events, we did get a new sewing machine, it's an embroidery machine, and they've already been practicing and trying it out. It hooks up, our kids in programming can actually program something, and it can go to that website, and the kids can embroidery the kids' programming. So that's really fun too. We have Serve Safe, and I do have more of this in a packet that I'll give to you all that talks about the different certifications that the kids can get. FBLA again, Juan Monterosas, he placed 4th in the cybersecurity division in the state FBLA competition, and he'll be going to nationals to compete in that. So cybersecurity is considered a CTE course. It's kind of fledgling at this point, but we're working on that. But they've been doing some creative and fun things in cybersecurity. ACT work keys, I don't know if you saw on the website, but the gentleman in the middle, he scored almost perfect on the ACT work keys exams. He got a platinum level, and then the other students there received bronze and silver and gold. So we were really proud of them, and it's also in this packet of what certifications those are as well. Ag and FFA. FFA was not an affiliated program before, and we went ahead and paid the district or the high school cover dues. So any kid that takes a class in Agri is automatically in FFA. So I'll show you, you'll see the difference in being an affiliate and not being an affiliate, because kids had to pay their own dues before, and now they don't have to. So that has really upped our kids in FFA. I wish FCCLA had one and Skills had one, because we would, and FBLA, because we would pay those dues as well. So that was something that I felt that we really needed to do to support those kids. So when you see the numbers, you'll understand why. That was National Convention in Indianapolis. We got pretty kids at this school. I tell everybody that all the time. And there's some things that they've been doing. We did get some microscopes for them, some new ones this year, so they are able to look at animal pieces. I'm not sure what that one thing she's touching is, but it looks like a heart or something. So there's some more pictures of ag and poultry evaluation team. That science team, they placed 9th. The girl in the middle with the glasses is actually doing an internship with Dr. Fritz right now. And Skills, we talked a little bit about them. Our other 2 guys that placed are Gavin Lance, he placed 2nd place, and then Ryan Reynolds placed 3rd. They got tools, and they were really excited about those tools. And Gavin's tool set was about $600, and Ryan's was about $300, $300 to $400. So they thought that was better than a piece of wood. And I agree with that. So. And there's our officers, and there's Mr. Wrinkle with his award. That was a pretty awesome moment, y'all. That was just fabulous. Here are some things that Skills has been up to. The Angel Fund, they help pay for kids' presents and different things at Christmas. They've also volunteered all the time at the cafeterias for Thanksgiving. They shop with the Kiwanis kids, at Christmas time. They've helped maintenance, unload the trucks or the food trucks that come in. Michael's over there shaking his head because he knows. And then the great gift exchange that was for primary, it's where everybody got a gift. They rebuilt a front end of a school truck. I'm not sure about that. So, and replaced transmission in another school truck. Diagnosed and replaced computers in the tech department's Durango. Helped hand out food for students in need. Repaired and donated a car to a deserving student, and that was Mark Martin, who's a senior. Organized a car show, helped with the HHS trunk or treat, give back to school program. They donated $500 to the choir department just recently to help with their expenses because they have to purchase music, otherwise they'll break copyright law. So we have to go through the right chain of command on that. They did win first in the opening and closing ceremonies. They received chapter distinction level. And they'll be judged for National Chapter of Excellence, and we're sure to get it because I don't know that anybody's done any more or been any better than they have. And of course, Frank Brinkle, the advisory leader. They've done many more things here. I know that they're planning to take a horse trailer and turn it into a concession stand food truck type thing so they can drive it around, or pull it around, I should say, and be able to set up concessions at different things that occur around here. They're doing pull-up bars for basketball teams. I thought that was cool. And then here's about IXL. So I want to get to this packet, so I'm trying to hurry. But this IXL links automatically with the curriculum that we purchased for math and for English, so that's a good thing. So what we do is we pull the standards, and we're able to find, go into IXL and link it to our book. That's our math book right there, or one of the math books. And then we have ACT Aspire, ACT Word Keys, ACT, the MAP, NWEA, which is our interim assessment that we do 4 times a year, and then of course our PSAT. And we do give the PSAT here at Huntsville. We hope, we are using that. We're gonna have a boot camp here pretty quickly we actually have kids already set in it. The countdown to the Aspire, which we do the second week of May. So we are going to pull from their last MAP scores to see what they're deficit in, assign those to them, and then set them in RTI and have them work through those skills to give a quick dose before then. Chandra Dennison put this PowerPoint together for me, and I've been over it 100 times, but I still feel like I'm missing some things. But they said at IXL that the goal is to grow 10 points per month on IXL. We've grown a little bit, so we think that we are a little bit ahead of the mark here. And again, talked about the Aspire Boot Camp. And the end of the presentation, but not the good stuff. So I do want to give you all a packet. Okay, on that first page, these are our numbers for our clubs that we have. 250 members in FFA.
So we were down to 50 members last year?
Yes, we had 50 members last year, which is a good number for FFA. But we have 250 members in FFA.
Paying the dues made a difference.
It made a huge difference. I couldn't believe it when she told me that number. I was like, wow, and she said that's because of the affiliate. So that was so if we could do that, I wish they had it for FCCLA, they do not, and FBLA, because we would do that, and for skills too. Because they all have to pay the chapter pays them, but they own to pay their dues. FCCLA, which in my day was home ec, or FHA, I think is what they called it. We have 39 members, which is a good number for them as well. FBLA, Future Business of America, we have 3 members. And Skills USA, we have 69 members. So we have, for completers this year, FFA has 34 completers. FCCLA has 12 completers, and then Skills receives cords. If you're in Skills USA, you automatically get a cord for graduation, and I did not get the number for FBLA completers before the meeting. If you look in your packet, these are what we do in CTE. These are our pathways. The first set is our Family and Consumer Sciences. We do the Human Services pathway, and there's 2 there. And this, I've highlighted the certifications that we do with those. Also, on the next page, I think I may have messed up. What do you have on the next page?
Agriculture.
Okay, I think I got them out of order for y'all, but that's our ag pathway. We do have 3 there. We are looking to do away with our natural resources pathway because some kids aren't as interested in that, and they've had an idea about doing plant science. So we hope to do that for 2024. With our FBLA or our business, we're looking at principles of banking. I've already been in talks with, Arvest has a program that is called Junior Bank Board Association. I'm meeting with Ashley Skates, Chris's mom. I couldn't remember her first name, on Wednesday to discuss that. So we'll have a bank board next year, and they take kids to the National Reserve, and they help them get internships and that sort of thing. And, you know, we've got how many banks in the town, so that's a good thing. So these are industry recognized certifications. These are for this set is for business. So those are the things that kids can get in the business department. That next page, I wanted to talk about our welding and our CNA and our diesel. Welding is an articulated credit. If they complete our welding program, they can go to NWTI in Springdale and test out and receive course credit with them. Our CNA is concurrent credit, so they actually get high school credit and college credit through North Arkansas College. We are looking to add EMT. She's actually going to be here next week to talk to our kids to see if they have interest in it, and we'll go from there, but we need to make sure we've got that. We've even talked about flip-flopping them every other year, CNA, EMT, in case kids want to do both. So we've discussed that. Diesel is also articulated credit through NWTI, and then also Universal Technical Institute, or UTI, which makes me giggle every time I say that, in Dallas. And we have many kids taking various classes through Arkansas Tech University and North Arkansas College, and those are concurrent credit, which means they get credit at high school and get credit at college. Some of these, the most popular are Comp 1 and Comp 2, college algebra, and then they take other courses as well, but those seem to be the ones that the kids take a lot of. This next set is our automotive and diesel pathway. You can look at those. I did attach a sheet at the back that has their certifications with that. The next one is our welding. This is what we teach in our welding class. And then here's our certifications. And I didn't put all the certifications that the state has. I just put the ones that we do. Kids have been asking about AI certification, and we're working on that. It's very, very expensive.
So what's the difference in the ones that are highlighted in green?
Those are the ones that we offer, or that the kids can get through us. So those are all, also we're gonna do the CDA next year, certified child development associate, yes. So those are.
Accreditation.
Yes, accreditation. We do ServSafe. We've actually had Sonic in different places around ask us to teach the people that they hire with ServSafe. And our person can do that. It's Betty Jo Smith. ICEV, we can, any of these that have the little squirrely out beside them, we can offer any of those to the kids. There's just a lot that they can get. They do a 10-hour OSHA, that's mandatory, And we also have, every senior will be a card-carrying, CPR-certified person when they walk out this door. So, it's a lot, I know. I apologize. Not really, I'm not really that sorry, because I wanted to showcase all the good stuff. And I can share the presentation with y'all if y'all like to go back and look over it a little bit more closely. If you'd like to see that. Good?
Yes, ma'am, I think so.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next section, the superintendent's reports. I have your financial projection report for you. I will highlight a couple of things. It is the first time that we've shown it as a decline from the beginning of July till now. I'll basically say that our revenue from the county did not come in like we had projected it to, and that our expenses were just a little bit higher than what we had projected it on last month's report. But we've already contacted the county, and our revenue for this month in April is going to be much higher than what we had anticipated. Yeah. So it will come back up, or should come back up in the next month's report in May for the April balance. And then if there aren't any questions on that, going to the tab B, our enrollment report. Did show another slight decline from March to April, drop of 3 students overall from one month to the next. I added a column and row that is for, on this first page, the March report, predicted 22-23 ADM. This is what our next year this is what our next year's revenue will be based off of, not tax revenue, but the state funding that we get. So that is right now it looks like, and that is formed at this point in this time frame for this year, for next year. So they take that number based off of that one for our foundation funding next year. So that will be, if it stays there, it'll be pretty good for us overall for next year.
Where it says St. Paul kindergarten population is, because it says notable changes, is currently 14 students. Why is that notable? Why, is that like more than they usually have, or less than they have, or?
I usually highlight it's not a change, I just keep the kindergarten numbers there, because we try to track kindergarten pretty heavily, especially at the beginning of the year. Let you know what we will have coming into the next round.
I'm seeing a gain of 1 in elementary and 3 in the high school in the last month.
Thought so, yes, sir.
That's always good.
It is.
Okay. If there aren't any more questions, we'll go on to the administration reports. Mr. Ferguson, you want to start us off?
I'm just gonna tell you about one thing this month. I did go down to Dallas, Fort Worth. Our Northwest Arkansas Co-op took a group of administrators down there. And the whole purpose was to tour some career and technical education facilities with the thought that they will hopefully eventually build a regional center. Now, with that said,
we have our buildings here. And as Ms. Enoch showed you, we've got a lot going on in those buildings right now. My goal is to work with Ms. Enoch and Mr. Dunlap and put together kind of a list of things that we would need from a regional center, maybe things that we couldn't necessarily offer with our CTE buildings, so that they can kind of mold that to fit what's gonna be best for Northwest Arkansas. But we toured a $64 million facility in Arlington. With that price tag, you can imagine how amazing it was. They had a career and technical education center that was devoted solely to career and technical education. Kids in 9th grade would choose to go to that school and they would take a pathway. So they took their English, their math, their science, they took everything there. I don't think that that's what our region would be interested in, but it was good to look at to kind of see how that would turn out. But definitely gained a lot of perspective, I guess, for some of our career and technical education that we're doing here, and then what it could potentially look like in the future. So it was a really good trip, and I appreciate this, and Ms. Enoch and I kind of talked about this beforehand, and I think this is great, and I really think that this is something that we need to get out and make sure our community understands how these CTE programs are being pushed, and how we're using our facilities. And there's a lot going on in CTE, and very thankful that we have those centers, and very thankful for the work that we're putting into them. So, but I think that's it for me.
I don't really have anything new, just appreciate your support.
I don't either, I mean, we're just chugging along. Yeah, not much new, we have entered field trip season. If anybody has not seen Crystal Bridges or the Shiloh Museum, we run an 8:30 twice a weekend. Come on and join me. Just, you know, testing coming up. We got K2 map test the next couple of days, and then next week our 3-6 kids will be doing the big ACT Aspire test, and then the week after our high school kids are on it. So, you know, just getting ready for testing and looking at our kids for summer school, and just, you know, getting the plan ready. So we're trying to finish strong.
I took a lot of your time, so I don't really have any more, but I did share just now the PowerPoint with all of you, so you'll be able to.
Appreciate it.
Good. I'm good.
At middle school, we had 2 students qualify for the FCCLA National Conference. It's in Denver, Colorado. Lily Day and Mackenzie Smith, recognize them. Our ACT Aspire testing will be Tuesday, May 2nd through Friday, May 5th, so we're gearing up for that. Wednesday, May 10th is our 8th graders go to the Teen Summit right here at the Activities Center. Friday, May 12th, we're having intermediates, 5th graders come to visit the middle school campus. And then we've got our end of the year stuff, we're planning that. May 22nd, 7th grade awards program, it's 8 a.m. 8th grade awards at 9. 7th and 8th, we have a picnic that day at Mitchison Park. And then, thanks, May 22nd, 6th grade awards at 8 a.m. and picnic that afternoon. So just getting ready.
Finishing up spring sports, regular season anyway, this week and a little bit of next, and then we start into the district tournaments and things like that to hopefully move on and qualify for regionals and state in spring sports. We have a lot kind of happening at the activity center next month. There's a week basically that's blocked out with choir, teen summit, band concert, graduation practice, and kindergarten graduation after that. So we're getting everything pulled together for that. The floor covering is here, and you know, that'll be down. They're coming Thursday to put up the wall padding that came in a couple weeks ago, and they're coming to install that, and to finish up the controller on the curtains to be able to lower the curtain for events and things there, so quite a bit of stuff going on there.
I don't have anything. Well, we're starting ACT Aspire tomorrow through Thursday, so say lots of prayers. We have a guest speaker coming, well, before that, we have a group singing at the Naturals game on the 22nd. We have a guest speaker coming in to talk about making the right choices on the 24th. We have our 3rd grade musical program on May 1st, an art show on May 8th, 4th grade musical May 15th, and the 5th grade one on May 22nd. Other than that, we have fun and field days scheduled, AR parties for getting our reading awards, and just wrapping up the end of the year, so.
Real quick, that art show is gonna be at the Charles Berry Gym, it's at the old gym, so
Yes.
like we have it every year, but it's just a little more convenient to have it there.
And they will have items for sale, I know high school does, so bring your wallet.
I think that's 4:30 to 7, is that?
Yes.
They have it.
Mr. Warren, I want to add a couple things if I can, I'm sorry. Is it okay?
Yes.
I want to brag on one of our students, junior Maddie Watson. She qualified for nationals in FCCLA in Denver, Colorado for the summer. And so she will be attending that. Real proud of her. And then I forgot, we're having our parent night tomorrow night in conjunction with the art show and everything. And it'll be in the new gym starting at 5:30. So I did want to say that. Thank you.
Now, kind of update for Miss Roach, she emailed me with, they're having their 1st grade spring musical tonight, and so she couldn't attend here. She said pre-K and kindergarten registration opened this morning, and they saw a pretty steady flow of families picking up packets today, which makes them excited about the upcoming year. 2nd graders are on one of those trips to Crystal Bridges, so you can ride with a 2nd grader if you want. And then the math testing window, spring window opened today, so their classes are going to be rotating through, taking the math assessments for the next couple of weeks, and they will close it out on May 12th. And that's her update for this evening. If there's no other questions or information for that, we'll move on to the new business segment, tab A. So we have to get approval for the audit report. The auditor was here in full form and fashion during the early parts of February and March. An audit is, I think I've said this before, but it has been described to me as an autopsy of your finances from the previous year. And so what they do is they look at, your procedures, your processes, they look at your, how you pay checks out, they look at basically every aspect of everything. And ladies, jump in if I miss something. And overall, the audit went well. They were complimentary of our staffs, they were complimentary of our procedures and protocols that we have in line and in place. But, like I said, they are looking for things that they can correct or to help make the district better. And they did find in our federal awards, they had a finding that we have to report tonight. I included in the packet, the page 27, which that was included in what you got as well. But and basically, we did not get prior approval for certain items that were above $5,000 in the early stages of dealing with ESSER funds and ESSER money. There was some misinterpretation, I guess I would say, of the rules and regs of how we were supposed to get pre-approval from DESE and the Department of Education. They came out with a commissioner's memo that clarified it, and we have worked since then to make sure that we are following that pre-approval process. The State Department has sent us, here's how to go about to make corrections and to basically retroact, get approval for it, and that's what we're in process of doing now. But that is our audit, and I would ask unless there are questions. Yes, sir.
What were the items purchased that did not?
There were 7 of them, and I won't be able to tell you exactly what they were. They might.
Yeah, floor scrubbers and dishwashers for 2 different
Can
buildings.
you tell me who those were purchased from?
Hilliard Food Service Equipment Brokers and the Webster store.
Okay.
Okay. It's just one of those mix-ups as far as here's what we thought we were supposed to do, here's what we were actually supposed to do, and we're working to correct it.
I'm guessing those places where we purchased stuff from, we frequent there anyway, correct? So it wasn't like a just off the wall or?
No, it was just my misunderstanding of it didn't fall into the categories that I thought we were supposed to get prior approval for. We were getting prior approval for other things.
Right.
And we did do all of the paperwork and everything, the backup documentation like we would have had we gotten prior approval because that was a requirement. So we're just in the process now of submitting that additional application to the state along with that backup documentation to show that, and then we'll just have to wait and see what their determination is.
And sometimes their instructions were clear as mud. Whenever.
The rules were changing a lot. I mean, I take blame for it. I mean, it was my fault, but the rules they were very fluid with ESSER for a while. It was very confusing to keep up, and so I just misunderstood that particular item.
Gotcha. I mean, it kind of sounds like it was kind of a problem that a lot
Yeah,
of districts had.
We were not the only one, yeah.
According to the auditor, it was fairly widespread.
Right.
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve the audit report.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, sorry, moving on to tab B, the approval of the salary schedule proposal for PPC review. This is just me being a little bit more cautious than anything. This is a step that's not necessary because this is a state law, but we've taken it and I've had a meeting with PPC, I've presented it to you all. We've made some alterations to it based off of the feedback that we got from PPC, and I just want, because it's such a big change in our way that we operate right now, and especially at a salary level, I'm basically asking for you all to approve, not the proposal, but to approve to take it back to PPC one more time for them to look at it.
So you submitted it to them, you guys basically gave your recommendations on some changes, you changed it, now you're looking.
We talked through.
To send it back to them.
To send it back, just one more time, just due diligence is what I believe, and it's not necessary, but I wanna make it to where everybody has seen it, and everybody has had a chance to give some more feedback on it as well.
Can we get a summary of what those changes
Sure.
would be?
Yeah, and there weren't a lot, we added so if you look at the actual one that lists a salary schedule, or looks like that.
I'm talking about when it comes back from.
Oh, yes, well, it'll have to come back to you for approval.
Right, but rather than just a document that I would
Absolutely.
have to spend hours comparing to the original, if I could get a summary of what the changes are, it saves lots of time.
Yes, sir.
And I can add that a lot of the changes we suggested weren't really so much changes, but just ways to maybe
Communicate
format
better,
it
yeah.
or, add a line that helps explain something a little better. It was that kind of thing, nothing really major.
I know I've gotten positive. Have you guys gotten positive-ish? As positive as it can be, because obviously with LEARNs, there's.
The staff hasn't really seen it
Yeah.
yet, so when it says FY, is that for year 23, first year 23, when is that FY? On the action.
It says FY 23, and then it's
It's fiscal year,
fiscal year.
Oh, fiscal year.
June to July, or July to June, I'm sorry. Said that. So if there aren't any other questions, just approve the salary schedule for PPC review is the motion made. Okay.
The motion, Nick has the motion. Second by Steve, all in favor?
Okay, the 2023 calendar, Ms. Prince, this is tab C.
You should have the final calendar that we're proposing. I just wanted to kind of fill you in that PPC has been making the calendars for several years now. This year we had a total of nine different options that we put together, just based on recommendations from the district. We sent out an email saying, do you have any recommendations, comments, things you'd like to see? And, no promises, but we did offer that opportunity for at least them to voice some things. So based on that, we went back to the drawing board, came up with another option, and just kind of kept going till we narrowed it down. The one that's chosen, well, in fact, the way we did it this year, most of the all of the options that we offered them, all of them started on August 16th. All of them ended on May 30th. Too many times we put the calendar out for a vote, or whoever's looking at it, that's what they're focusing in on. When do we get out? So we took that kind of off the table and focused in on the meat of the year. When's the best time to have our PD? When's the best time to have our parent-teacher conferences? Just that kind of general. So we had lots and lots of conversations, so I did want to express that to you before you go and approve it, that this wasn't a hasty decision. We spent a lot of time this year really trying to make it what hopefully people are going to be happy with. So.
I have a question. Yeah. So how does it work? Like you've got 3 days that could be added if they missed, but can we still do online for snow or no? That is no longer available.
AMI is no longer available. We can have it, but we still have to make it up.
Technically, it's a strange thing, so this will go back to the Learns Act. You have to have 178 student contact days, and it specifically spells that out. It does not, the terminology of AMI, yeah, is technically still there. It still floats out, but it's, what it boils down to is you may not, why would you use it if you don't get to count it for your school day? Is what it boils down to.
So they really want 178 in their seat, face-to-face kind of interactions.
Now, sorry, I didn't, but we still, they're still writing the rules and regs, so if that changes, we would have, utilize AMI as we have in the past, but as of right now, what we're seeing is that it's not going to be a viable option for us next year.
We did include there's actually 5 snow days that we built into it, because we have the day in February, President's Day. We made that as an option if we needed it, for a school day.
Which we did that this year.
Right.
That's the day we used.
And then, the other one is April 12th, which is just and on this calendar, it's a district PD day for teachers, no kids though. So we made that as an option. But we did kind of specify on there that that's kind of superintendent discretion. So, that way we can use them if we need to, and if not, we'll just continue on.
And we would not have to call a board meeting like we did in the past
Right.
to have to declare that day as a student contact day.
Right, just communicate it and it'll be good to go. So we made a few changes to it, but we did make sure that everything's, accounted for, the student days, teacher days, so we should be good to go. And we did send this calendar and another option out. The only difference between the two was this particular calendar, there's 5 days in the fall that are off, and conferences are after spring break. The other one had 4 days off in the fall, and conferences in the spring or before spring break. So that was really the two differences, and about 65% voted for this one. So, pretty clear choice.
Can I get a motion to approve the calendar?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Bobby, you want a second? Second by Rob. All in favor?
Thank you.
Okay, tab D, is the approval of purchasing of weight room equipment. We are honestly in the final stages of getting everything in place at the AT Smith Center. This is the bigger of those items though that we are looking to do to complete. This was the lowest bid. It's through a TIPS, I always call it TIPS TAPS, but it's not referred to that anymore. It's the TIPS program. And Coach, if you want to add anything to it.
It's through a company called Pro Maximus where we got all of our other weight equipment at the high school and at the turf room down here at the gym. We couldn't buy directly from them anymore, so we had to go through BSN Sports, who is the local rep for them. And they came in with the lowest bid by quite a bit. So, and it's good equipment to take care of needs for over there for a long time. We've had this other Pro Maxima equipment for years and had, other than just normal wear and tear, no trouble at all. We're excited to be able to get that.
This would come out of the,
That's what I was gonna ask.
It's gonna come out of the AT Smith fund. We still have a little bit of money left in there, and it will cover it. The other items, we were adding it up today. They're gonna eat up the rest of the AT Smith fund and then just a little bit of our building fund to finish it out. So we'll end up, unless something drastic happens, we'll still be above our goal is to stay above in our building fund $3 million, and we'll still be well ahead of that.
Can I get a motion to approve, or you forgot something?
I was gonna say, I think there was a local business that had been wanting to donate to the athletic department. If you happen to talk to the Kendra and Josh, did they mention anything to you?
Well, there are different businesses and banks that are wanting to do some donations. And I'm putting together a packet for them right now, so be able to get that out to them soon.
That's awesome.
Whatever donations would come in for that type of stuff, we put back into the building fund to replenish. But we are trying to close out the AT Smith account.
Can we get a motion to approve weight room? Ms. Denver? Steve or Nikki, then one. All in favor?
Last new business item, tab E, is our approval for Boston Mountain Rural Health Center parking proposal, and they are going to be constructing not right now, obviously, but over the next year or so, they're going to be constructing, adding on to their facility up here, to their clinic. And they are asking to, it's on their property, but on the back side of the property, and there's a picture of it in the packet itself, that's kind of highlighted in yellow. They want to construct 20 parking spots for their employees to be used during the day, and then they would let us use that in the evenings as overflow parking. We already have an MOU with them to be able to use it as use their main parking lot as overflow parking during events. Then they're also going to construct this sidewalk that goes from their facility to the parking lot as well, that our people or our patrons would be able to use whenever they're having to park up on the very top part by the clinic itself. They just want to use our drive during the day to be able to get to it with their employees. Yes.
I'm opposed to it because we already have an unsafe entry exit coming off of the highway into our facility, both sides. And any increase in traffic there just makes it worse. However, if they would want to help us widen that driveway to alleviate that unsafe condition, I'd be for that.
Okay. We haven't talked about that aspect of it.
Did you see what I'm talking about?
I do. The timeframes that they're talking about right now, as far as their employees, are times, I mean, we're using the main activity center during that time frame, but traffic is pretty light during that, at least in the morning time when they're coming in, their employees. In the afternoons, it might be a little bit more heavy.
But while they're doing construction, would be a good time for us to get our problem solved.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
I can go back and talk to them about it.
But do you have suggestions on what it needs to be, I guess?
Yeah.
And then why didn't our civil engineer take care of that to begin with, is what, I guess is probably my question is. I mean, we paid a civil engineer to do this and do it correctly. I don't know why it wasn't done to begin with.
I don't know either. But you just drive by and imagine a bus trying to turn in there or come out of there, and there's just no room. Even in the morning or in the afternoon, if there's a bus coming out of there, that additional traffic would. What's the liability to us as a school district for them using that?
As far as I know, we don't have a liability for them to be able to drive through there to use, to park on the backside.
It's not a public street though, is it?
No, it is not. It is our drive. That's why they're asking.
Right.
But as far as a liability, I don't know that there is, but I don't know that there isn't.
I just think we should try to get our problem solved.
And we can, I can pull it from new business. You get in contact with them tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I still think we probably ought to have a better idea of what it's gonna take to get that done, or what it needs to be.
It needs to be at least 10 foot wider on either side.
And that's written in code or?
That's just my opinion as a professional engineer.
Well, that's what I'm saying, like, is there
Yeah.
something that is written?
I can research that.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
I'm just
And then if
asking.
it doesn't meet code, would it go back
That's what
on
that's
go
what I'm
back
asking.
on
If for whatever reason it doesn't make code, then we can go back to,
Typically, the code would be the local government
jurisdiction, yeah.
If you go outside of this jurisdiction, there are much more stringent codes that it does not meet. I know that from the work I've done in other cities.
Right. Yeah, I just wanna know
I don't know
if,
what the Huntsville Planning Commission has on their books.
we probably ought to find that out.
Yeah.
I'm just
But I mean,
looking for, if there's an avenue to go back to the civil engineer
Yeah.
previous,
That they need to
then
fix it.
they're the ones that need to fix it,
I'm
not
guessing-
Boston Mountain.
because I mean,
I'm
this is a
guessing
good thing for us.
there's not a code in Huntsville, Arkansas for that.
Yeah.
I mean, adding 20 parking spots at somebody else's expense is a pretty good deal for
Yeah.
the school district.
So, but we need to find out, because if we're gonna have to fix the drive ourselves anyway, because we let it go on, I don't think we can probably ask Boston Mountain
No.
to do that, but you weren't
They
there
can help.
earlier, our problem is we don't have enough parking, that's why we made the deal with the Church of Christ, so this would help us out even more, that they're building some more parking.
But then also, what is is that gonna shut down that drive while they're doing that construction? Or how is that gonna work?
Good.
Well, we didn't get that far into the discussion.
I mean, I definitely wanna know that also. Are we gonna have to use that south entrance, block off that north entrance while this is happening? Or, and if there's any damage to our drive, are they gonna fix what, if they've got equipment rolling in and out of there?
Look at the south entrance and imagine you're in a bus, meaning a 3/4 ton pickup trying to come in and out of there.
Well, it's just like the entrance from the street, I mean,
Exactly.
it's a little rough.
Okay, I'll bring it back. Moving on to section 8, Section 7, approval of student transfer requests. We have 5 transfer requests at this time.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Section 8, personnel. We have the personnel section of resignation, hires, and transfers. For your approval.
I would like to I'd like to go into executive session to discuss employment.
We're gonna return from executive session. Mr. Warren, you wanna? I guess we need to take a motion first for the hires and transfers.
Make a move on
All right.
the personnel list.
Do I have a motion for,
I make a
personnel?
motion to accept the personnel resignation, hires, transfers, and renewals.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Certified resignations for personnel, Brittany Bales, high school teacher, 6/30/23, Samantha Ellis, St. Paul, K-12 music teacher, 6/30/23, Bethany Denham, Watson primary teacher, 6/30/23, Tom McCullough, athletic director, 6/30/23. Classified resignation, Steve Hale, director of maintenance and custodial, 3/27/23, Tina Nodi, director of child nutrition, 5/31/23, Kelly Harp, HIS special ed paraprofessional, 5/26/23, Jeff Oswald, HHS custodial, 4/21/23. Hires, classified, James Dunham, athletic department custodial, 4/11/23, Rachel Connor, Watson primary pre-K paraprofessional, 7/1/23. Heather Porter, HIS instructional aide, 4/10/23. Transfers, certified, Kayla Hawkins, HIS principal to HIS principal interim to HIS principal,
Thank you.
7/1/23. Zach Wiggins, HHS teacher to HIS HMS dean of students interim through May 26th or until May 26th, 4/17/23. Classified transfers, Sasha Christman, HMS special education parapro to pre-K parapro, 3/13/23. Michael Roach, maintenance inventory specialist to maintenance custodial director interim till June 23. And that is, starts 3/28/23. All of that.
Does anybody have any comments?
Yes, I do. Before closing, I'd like to ask Mr. Daniel, have we, begun any progress on the restaurant suggested for our media center? If so, how far along are we?
Michael and Mr. Warren, I believe, came down and they can answer that better than I can.
We sure need a restroom in that media center.
We looked, there is a septic tank in front of that, between it and the high school, that we didn't know was there. We thought it was just a clean out, but there is a septic tank there. So it is a possibility. We haven't got any quotes on having it done, but, you know, we're in the process of doing it.
You know, I would sure hope we could have it by next year.
Next year.
Yes, sir. I think that's.
I think that's
Yes, I think it's very reasonable.
Because we had our meeting over this year at St. Paul, and it was rather embarrassing to have to cross our legs for 3 hours. And another thing I would like to say, there's this right here that was waiting on me when I got here. Everyone knows I'm all about art, I love the arts. And another thing I was impressed with was Miss Griggs' class on making a funny animal pillows.
Yeah.
I just thought that was awesome.
Thank you, I'll tell her.
Yeah.
They were super cute in person.
And I went up and looked at those, she showed them to me, and all of them looked identical to the pictures that the kids drew.
It just
and it
warmed my
was-
heart to see
yeah,
that.
It was really cool.
Thank you.
Tanya?
Can you clarify if Elizabeth Hill for a paraposition is on that list? Recommendation to hire.
What was that name? Elizabeth Hill?
Elizabeth Hill.
I never saw
Okay.
her come through. Don't remember that coming through.
Okay.
We can get it on the next one.
And I want to thank Tom. He volunteered forever before he came on staff. And then he was on staff, wait a minute, 23 years? 25 years, okay. And he was my child's, both boys had him for social studies. They loved every minute of it. It was amazing. They did amazing projects, and they really, I would have couldn't have picked a better social studies teacher. And I appreciate all the work he did helping us get the activity center going.
I know you helped a lot of kids, myself included. You were the first person I called when I got my first car accident.
We appreciate you. Hopefully you'll, I hope your transition's gonna be smoother than mine was.
I hope so.
Alright, do I have a motion for adjournment? Motion by Bobby,
Second.
second by Nick, all in favor?